I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This house is affecting everyone that comes in contact with it. The house is alive, and whether you choose to believe that or not, I don't care. What matters is that I'm going to do whatever is necessary to save my daughter, even if I don't fully understand. When this started, my husband and I resorted to different methods to try to break our daughter free. We even attempted to contact a priest. That led to the house retaliating. And now, as crazy as it sounds, we're trying to appease the house to save her. But she isn't alone anymore. Over the course of a single afternoon, Stan and I watched as the small fingers that we saw pushing out from the wall formed into a complete hand. And then, a wrist. Someone or something was trying to push its way out of the wall. Somehow Stan got his brother back on the phone. Tim has a friend that works third shift to try to help us before all this got so bad, but I pushed her away. I've had time to reconsider that decision, and I've realized the house has been clouding my judgment. I need all the help I can get. Look, about before, I want to apologize, the nurse said over the phone. I found out her name was Beth, and Beth had 2 kids of her own. I know you're stressed. Anyone would be. It's a matter of life and death, and it's something that no one has ever seen before. Look, I'm no Christian, but if you are, I'd recommend praying to God, because what you've told me since I left sounds like you're dealing with the devil himself. I learned that she risked her job to help us the first time, and that now, as she re-entered this hell, she was willing to do so again. All because of a hand sticking out of a wall. I never believed the rumors. Not until this, Beth admitted, as she used a tourniquet to tie off the edge of the wrist closest to the wall. I saw that she was hesitant to touch the building itself. Rumors? Stan asked. He had been tending to Marcy. Ever since the incident with the termites, her body had been sore and had a variety of open sores on her arm and belly. She was exhausted and barely breathing. Beth made no comment about her state of being, but instead focused all of the attention on the new arm. Local stuff. About this house being haunted. And you can read up on a few tabloid articles about it here and there, but it's almost like the house is keeping a secret. Like, okay, let's say this boy is really trapped here, so why would the house release him now? Beth asked. I didn't have an answer for that question. All I knew was that I was certain that Jasper was a key to this whole mess, and I wanted to learn as much about him as possible. After making sure the tourniquet was good and tight, Beth took out a scalpel and gently cut the tip of the finger. Then she used a needle to draw blood, and commented, "Guess either way, we'll get an answer soon enough." Once she was finished, she checked on Marcy's vitals and gave us more bad news. Her body's starting to shut down. Her breathing, it's becoming labored, and now that more than half of her is inside the house, it doesn't appear that she has any way of using the bathroom. She admitted as she checked Marcy and confirmed she also had a fever. Then we might be too late, Stan realized. At this point, who knows? I can't definitively say what's going to happen. Beth pursed her lips as though she wanted to say something, but stood up and sighed before adding, "I'll call you when I get the results back." God be with you. I thanked her and let her go as Stan paced in the hallway. Considering our options, Marcy was asleep now thanks to a few pills that Beth had given her, and my husband used these moments as a chance for us to discuss what we would do if the house continued to wreak havoc on our little girl's body. I don't think this is going to end well, he admitted, as he slumped in his favorite recliner. We can't give up on her. If that little boy is any indication, maybe, even if she is completely absorbed, she'll be alive still, I said. Stan didn't seem so sure. You heard the nurse. Her body's breaking down. Who's to say even if she could come out that it would be for very long? She's lost what little will she has to survive. I think that maybe we're just delaying the inevitable. I ran my fingers through my hair, trying to deny what he was telling me. But I knew he was right. Our daughter was dying. It wasn't a matter of if, but when. Maybe she should at least go with some dignity then. What little she has left. These past few days have been nothing but pain for her, Stan. But look at her now. She's at peace, I said with a soft smile. The medicine likely will wear off in a few hours. If we're going to come to terms with saying goodbye, then we have a small window here to decide how we want to say goodbye, he said softly. I nodded and I walked down the hall, staring at Jasper's hand and wondering if his parents faced a similar predicament years ago. How could any parent ever prepare themselves for anything of this magnitude? It was unfathomable. I need some fresh air, I told Stan. Before we had a chance to object, I grabbed my purse and left the house for the first time in days. I got into the car and I just drove, not really caring where. I left our neighborhood and eventually found myself at a park about 19 blocks away. It was one of the ones that Marcy used to love to play at. As I stopped the car and stared blankly at strangers that were enjoying the afternoon air, I found myself feeling even more depressed. What was I doing? I was treating her like she was already dead. Why would I do that? I can't stop now. I have to keep fighting for her. She's my daughter. The phone buzzed off and it made me jump as I saw it was Beth calling me back. Hey, sorry for the delay. I got the results back and they're a bit inconclusive. I guess we should have expected that given the fact that the kid probably has all kinds of stuff going on inside his body, but it's definitely strong vitals. He's alive and he's healthy, so that's something, she told me. I told her that was good news and asked what should be our next step. She mirrored what Stan had said earlier. I think, as cruel as this sounds, you may need to consider a way to gently let Marcy go. I don't know the connection here, but it may be the house that's feeding off her in order to restore this boy, and it may be impossible to save them both, she told me. Definitely not the news I wanted to hear, but then she said something else I found interesting. Honestly, though, I don't really mean that. I mean, I'm a mom, and I know that if one of my kids were in that thing, I would do whatever I could to save them, even if all hope is lost, Beth admitted. I thanked her. I told her that if we needed her for anything again, we would call. After the phone call ended, I stared at the screen for a moment and thought about Marcy. Why was the house taking so long to consume her? There was no hope at all. It didn't feel right. Nothing about what was happening did, though. On a whim, I went to the internet to our local newspaper article and started searching for anything on the house. There wasn't a single article. But then I searched Jasper Hunt. And that was more interesting. Local boy missing for days. Family suspected of homicide. Local residents are up in arms about a 10-year-old boy that's been missing for nearly 3 days now. Parents have stayed adamant that they have no idea what happened to their son, but local authorities have found evidence to suggest that he may have been murdered in the house that they reside in. I kept scrolling, touching on articles that related on the case. Noah Hunt, charged with first-degree murder in cold case related to his son. The mourning residents of our sleepy town can breathe a sigh of relief as a traumatic chapter comes to a close surrounding the disappearance of a 10-year-old Jasper Hunt. Last summer, Jasper went missing near to the family home and subsequent search parties proved unable to find him. Results in the case being turned over to homicide after the suicide of Jasper's mother. Now, after continuously standing by his innocence, Noah Hunt, the father and husband in this ill-fated tale, has confessed to first-degree murder and to hiding Jasper's body inside the walls of his 3-bedroom house. Mr. Hunt is being offered a plea deal by the district attorney in exchange for the exact location of where he buried Jasper. I felt a chill run down my spine as I read the quote made by Jasper's father. Quote, "You're not going to be able to find him. He's part of the house now. I made sure of that," Mr. Hunt said. Construction teams are waiting for an approval warrant by the judge to begin tearing down the property in order to give poor Jasper a proper burial. I read another brief snippet that told me Noah was being held at the county correctional facility, and before I really had time to think about what I was doing, I started to drive there. About halfway to the downtown area, my phone buzzed again. It was Stan. I let it go to speakerphone. "Where are you?" he asked. "I'm sorry, I need some time to myself," I told him. "Please come back. I can't do this without you," he admitted. I frowned as I turned the next corner. "Stan, what is it that you plan to do?" I found my dad's old service pistol in the basement. It's a little old, but I think it'll do the trick." I clenched the wheel a little harder. Please don't do this," I told him. "I don't want her to suffer anymore." "Stan, she's our daughter." "You said it yourself. Time to say goodbye while we still have a chance." "No, Stan, it's the house. Get out of the house before..." The line went dead. I turned the car around, and I stepped on the accelerator. Noah would have to wait. Hey there once again, kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and I wanted to tell you thank you so much for watching tonight's video, or, listening to tonight's episode of the podcast. Before we say goodnight, I'd like to let you guys know about a couple of books that are available right now if you guys check out Amazon, before it becomes too late to get them and they're completely sold out. The Neverglade Mysteries Volume 3 should be available on Amazon very, very soon. If you guys have been keeping up with the Neverglade Mysteries, then you definitely don't want to miss out on this one. This is going to be the brand newest book, and the adventures of the inspector cannot be missed. The complete version of My Tiny Town Just Got Put on Lockdown is available right now on Amazon as well. Big, thick hardcover book, and you guys can get all the adventures as well as some insight into the next volume that should be available in that series. And of course, there's 2 new audiobooks from me. Tales from the Gas Station Volume 3 is available on Audible, and you can check out the newest Audible book from Vincent Vinicava, Pastel-Colored Dreams and Human-Flavored Nightmares. Both of those, very fun to work on, and I hope all of you guys enjoy them. And as always, I want to give a very huge thank you to all of my supporters out there on Patreon. I say this every time, but I truly mean it. You guys are the real MVPs, and without you, I don't think I would be able to continue doing this at the capacity that I do. Especially not as many brand new custom stories as we've been getting just for the channel. So a very special thank you to Jacob Shaffer, Jordan Alexander Sanchez, Bryon Arce, Ken Lando Higuchi, Bobby Karman, Stephanie Butler, Tristain Pelton, Chase Burnett, Diana Kraus, Nessie, Ronny Hansson, Blitzscreed, BardoHawk764, TheBananaMafia 1, Hollow Hero, Ferb, Harley, Billy Morrow, Katie Birch, Sashi Sazaku, Kayden the Spooky Boy, My Body Sounds Like Rice Krispies, Ashwood, Lord of the Weebs, Jay, Faya Lockett, Miss Exandra, Suji Campbell, Stricken, Ozreen Fox, Robert White, Legit Quad Feed, Fried Chicken 12, James Bruce, Freddy Krueger, Ty Nanny, Infernal One, James Lowe, Lisa Cottrell, Caspian, Jordan Ells, Hades' Nephew, Tater Chip, Acid System, Prozac and Pancake Appreciation Society, Cryptic Nightmares, Kiwi the Sloth, Tommy Green, Sky Harbor, Caleb Dougal, Nina Smith, Nico Kyle, Rafael Rodriguez, The Ginger Bros, Aaron Stormcrow, Daniel Paulson, Trace Miles, and Corey Kenshin. Thank you guys once again so much, and if you would like to join this list of people's names that I mispronounce, or the list of people's names that are down there in the description, check out patreon.com/MrCreepyPasta. And as always, a very sweet dreams to all of you. Good night, folks.